In today's tutorial, we're learning how to make a website in Canva all the way from scratch. And the cool thing is you don't need any coding experience at all. We'll make this website. So here you can see we have a home page, and as soon as you scroll down, you go to a services section, then you go to a portfolio or a section where you can show your work, and then eventually at the bottom we have an about us or contact us page. Now the nice thing is at the end of this tutorial, however long it turns out to be, we will have a published website. Now this is available for the pro and free version of Canva, so everyone can follow along. Let's jump into Canva. And here we're starting from a create a design section, and we're choosing the websites. Now if we go to websites, we can see there's multiple sizes available, but if you look closely, the pixels are all the same. So we're going to start from a blank website template. And this gives us a blank canvas to work with. Now for those of you who've never made a website, a canvas is basically the same as any other canvas document in Canva itself. So you can just add your content here, and as soon as you add a page, this will be the scrolling part of your website. So if you scroll down, that is what you'll see. So let's just start with the main version here, and we have the home page. So we're going to make the home page first. I'm going to the design tab on the left, and here we can see multiple templates. So if you want, you can scroll through the templates to see if you like anything, but we're going to use the layout section here. And this is a standard pack of layouts that Canva provides that you could use, and they're pretty cool. So let's select one with a large image. So this one, for example, and click it. It will add it to the design, and then you can adjust the selections. You could also just add all these components yourself. It's a bit, depends on how you want to work. The logo, I'm going to remove it for now. I think that's a bit too much of a distraction. So let's get rid of that. And here at the title, you can type in, for example, your brand. And then here you could add your company tagline. Now, if you want to ungroup, you can play around with the sizings of those and increase them in size. They're using their standard Open Sans font. If you want to change that, you could easily go for something else, for example Montserrat, and make it extra bold. Let's also change this one to Montserrat itself and a regular or a lighter version. Let's do change all, so everything changes. And here we have a call to action button, which is also pretty nice. Now this homepage. What usually is important on a homepage is that you have a clear wording, so your brand or your company name, and then a nice image. So what I want to do is I want to look for an image. Let's say snow, mountains, if we do like a hiking sort of theme. And here we can browse through the same section as any of the other designs and look for a nice picture. Let's maybe look for one with a person. I think this one is really cool. And then just drag it on the canvas. Here it looks like the person is already watching the brand logo, which is quite nice. Now let's double click it and resize it a bit so that the person is more on the left side, so in the left part of the image, and then click done. And really looks at that brand. I think that adds for a really nice touch. Now the call to action, the white is becoming hard to read because the white on white. So we're going to select it, change color, and then make it dark. Here you can see my color palette, so I'm using a light gray, darker gray, and then probably this one. So those three I'll use. Then of course I have to change the text inside this, so I'm going to ungroup and then change the text color. Change it to white. Now this box itself, I'm more of a fan of the rounded corners. So I'm going to select the rectangle. I'm not sure why it doesn't let me change it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it. Text is still there, and press R to add a rectangle on the slide. Then we put it in the middle of the slide, make it smaller, and then place it behind that text box. Now here we can change the roundness or the corner rounding and increase the radius. You can go all the way, or you can do it subtly, like a small corner rounding. I'll go for a little bit of a corner rounding. Change the color and use that black color. I think that is quite neat. So this is already not too bad. If you want to have the text jump out a bit more, you can select it, go to effects, and let's put a lift on it, both on the tagline as well on the text. A bit less, until you find that right balance. Now if we add a slide, add page, you can see this is the part below on the slide. So we're scrolling to that services section. And also here, if you want, you can go to design and layouts and choose one of the layouts that you like. So let's say in this design, you want to showcase your services and explain a bit more, and you want to do it with an image and a text, you can choose this one and add it to the slide. So it's pretty convenient, and it adds already quite a nice looking design to your page. Let's call this our services and drag it down a bit. I'm going to leave that dummy text in place, maybe make it a bit shorter and put it just like this. The subtitle, you can add it, but if you don't need it, you can just remove it. For the image, also here, if you want to stick to that rounded corner style, you can go to corner rounding and increase it by just a little bit. Now here I noticed they used a different frame, so that's why I don't always like to work with those standard frames, but sometimes you have to play around with them. I think like this, we get the normal rounded rectangle. If you don't have it, you can just delete them, go to elements, and here look for frame. Go to all, and here choose the standard rounded rectangle frame. And then just add it to your design. There we go. Place it nicely on the side. And then this, let's say it also has something to do with mountaineering. We can look for picture, mountain, hike, snow, graphics, or photos, and then choose one of the nice images that you can just place in your slide. Now we have two sections already on our page. Let's already preview to see what that looks like. So if we go to preview, it will load and it will give you a preview window of your website. Now you can see it's a really nice page already, and as soon as you scroll, we go down to the services section. So that instantly brings that second page into view. Now this cut is quite harsh, and you see that on the preview that we've shown, it was some sort of a fading, smooth transition. So we're going to add that now. And for that, we're going to do a very clever trick. So basically, if you make a website in Canva, it's all pages stacked on top of each other. So you want to sort of connect that part a little bit, which is the bottom part that we can see here. For that, I'm going to add, let's close this and get some room. So for that, I'm going to add a rectangle and change the color, and then choose the white color. Place the rectangle at the bottom of your slide, and then adjust the handle so it matches and meets the other side of the slide. You can go over that box, we'll solve that in a second. Now we want to add a gradient stop, so we're going to go down in the colors and go for gradient. You can choose whichever one you like, scroll upwards, add new color, and here we're going to change the colors of the gradient. Now first let's change the order or the direction. So we want to have one color on top and the other one at the bottom. Here we can see the first one is the top and the right one is the bottom. Now set them both to white, so drag that all the way to the top. And then for the bottom one, so the right one in this case, we're going to put the transparency, for the other one, top one, we're going to put the transparency all the way to 0. And now we're going to adjust that handle a little bit, so increase it, go to position, and now we want to layer it below everything. So go to layers, and then drag it just on top of the picture. And here we can already see that we now have this very smooth transition from one slide to the next. And it really works well with the clouds especially. So the clouds, they fade into the next slide already. So depending on how much of it you want, you can increase or decrease it. If you want to have more, you can always add a gradient stop. So let's preview that. And here we can see it's a pretty nice slide, an opening slide. As soon as we scroll down, it nicely fades over to that content. So that's what we want to create. Now here I feel it's a bit of balance, and also the guy is looking more towards the middle or slightly on top, so I'm going to position everything a little bit higher. So I'm selecting those and then dragging it slightly upward. So it looks like the person is looking at the brand. Of course, don't forget your text box here. You can always group them together. So that is already our second slide. Now let's have a look at what else we can do. So for example, a portfolio. And for that, we're going to design, layouts. In our portfolio, we want to show multiple images to show off our work, or for example, a YouTube page. So for that, we're going to look for a nice thing that matches our portfolio. I think this one could be quite cool. So I'm going to add this and then either replace the current slide or add as a new. We're going to add as new to add it below. And then here, we're going to ungroup this. We don't need that title on top. And here we type in our portfolio. Select the text box and center it in the middle. And then for those boxes, I'm going to select them all three at once, rounding, and increase that rounding so we have these softer edges. Now let's go to elements and snow mountaineering. Go to photos and then see if we can find a few nice ones to just fit into that portfolio section. Whether you're a photographer or you're selling some products, you could add them here. It could also be designs. It really depends a bit on the type of work that you do. So let's increase this, hold shift. There we go. I think that looks quite nice. So if you want to have these more in a bold font, you can always Ctrl B to add a font or like a bolder version, or change the font itself to more of a bold or extra bold or black. So that depends. You can do that. So this is already our third slide that we've made. Let's preview. So we have a cool opening slide. We scroll down, we go to our services, scroll down again, our portfolio, 3-part slide. And now we want to look at the last part, which is the contact us section. So we're going to the bottom. Either we can add a new page, or we go to design again, go to layouts, and now let's see if we can find a nice slide that would fit our contact page. I think I'll go for this one here at the bottom, or maybe let's stick to one with the edges. I think that will be nice. Add as a new page. That way everything remains white on the slide and it's kind of consistent. Just add the corner rounding and then some contact details that you want to add. Elements. I think this one looked quite cool, so let's maybe just add this picture here and then increase the size a bit and reposition. It's nicely cropped and fits the image. So there we go. This could work for your website. Now, if you want to add some more elements, you can just use it and add it to your slide, but I think this already works quite well. And if we preview, we can see that we have a nice page. As soon as we scroll down, we get our services, get our portfolio, and we have the business hours. So it's pretty cool. Now at the bottom, we can always link to something specific. For example, if you want to link to your YouTube page or to any of your social media channels, you can just add that. And for that, we're going to apps. And here we want to type in embed. We can embed, and this will give us a whole section of things we can embed. For example, social media, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube. You can just add it here, and let's do that. So let me add YouTube to the design. And this, as a standard, gives the Canva video, but you can always just edit it and then paste your URL. So if you want to do youtube.com/@ my main channel slide skills, you can just click done, and it will add a link to your portfolio here. So if people click it, they will automatically go to that part of the website. You can do it for any of your other social media channels as well. Now maybe as a final thing is the call to action buttons that we have added here, or that we have available. So if you want to have something happen with this one, for example, link to a different page or link to a YouTube channel, to an Instagram post, you can just select the item. Just make sure that we ungroup it first. And then on the text, we just right click and press link. And here you can link to any of the pages that you have available if you want to link down to a certain part, or you could link to your YouTube, for example, youtube.com/slide skills, and then press enter and done. And if we now preview the website, you'll see that this link becomes clickable. And if you click that, it will open up a tab with the channel. So that's how you can add the call to actions also further down in your slide. That's pretty cool. Now we have the website available. Now, usually a website also has this menu bar at the top, or this little menu. And for that, we have to publish the website. So go to publish on top. And here we can include navigation. You'll see that it's now grayed out, so you can't click it. So that's because you have to add page title for the navigation menu. You have to assign it the name before it will show up. So we're going to unclick it again. And we're going to this grid overview here at the bottom. Now you have the overview of all the pages, and we're just going to type in the name. So here we type in home. Here we type in services. We'll type in portfolio. And we type in contact. As soon as we have that, we close the grid view and we can just publish the website again. Let me maybe, for the sake of this, delete it so it makes more sense. Publish website. And then here you can give it a name. So customize the URL with, for example, now it's called your brand because of the home title. Let's say it's a mountain site, and we just publish this website. Now it's preparing the design, and in a few seconds that page will be live. And now your website is live with this link. So you can view the website, and I'll now open this one up here. And here we can see that we have our website, which is live with the design skills, it's my channel name, and then .mycanva.site, and then the extension for the site that you have. On the site, you can scroll down and nicely see our services, portfolio, and the entire design that you have made, which is pretty cool. At the top, we can also see the menu bar. So if we click, for example, on portfolio, it will automatically scroll down to that anchored point. If you go to contact, it will scroll down again, go to services, goes up, click on home, and it will go all the way to the top again. So this is basically how you make a website in Canva all the way from scratch, and it's not that hard, and you can really play around to create some really cool effects with all the designs, the elements that are available. But this is how you set up a simple one-pager in Canva in just a few minutes. If you want to learn more about Canva or website building, make sure to watch the video on the screen right now.